We're in timeout mode, but it'll be okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Have a seat. Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, keeps going out? Okay. Thank you. Just leave it on. They'll turn it on and off for you. You don't have to worry about it. You turn it off. Okay, let's bring this one more time. So officially start. Earth Mother, you who are called by 1,000 names, may all remember that we are cells in your body and dance together. These words by Starhawk remind us of our true nature, gathered as parts of a beautiful, challenging, excruciating whole, a whole and holy people. Today, we open our eyes to those small moments, to the whisper of the earth, to the murmur of the heart, called synchronicity, intuition, coincidence, sometimes magic. We awake to the possibilities present in every single moment. Generosity, compassion, nurture, collaboration. Deep calling to deep, calling us to be our truest and best selves. Let us all stay awake to the magic present in every moment, accept the gifts that it brings us, and share our own gifts. This morning, we begin in mystery and in love. You're invited to light your candles for the folks, or your chalices for the folks at home, as we light our chalice now, as Karen McDowell does our opening words.
The members and friends of the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale promise to each other to listen and learn together with compassion, curiosity, and an open mind. Stay engaged and participate to create a warm, welcoming, and financially healthy church community. Work together and beyond our walls to address social and environmental challenges and support our church and its mission with time, talent, and treasure.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody. We can start doing things together again. How exciting is that? Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale. My name is Pam Rumancik. My pronouns are she and theirs, and I'm so grateful to be able to be with you this morning. Each of us brings very different lenses and perspectives and experiences into this space together, but we all bring them together to honor the worth and dignity of every single person. I'm going to say thank you this morning to Karen McDowell, who is sharing the leadership of the church this morning. She came up with this great idea, and I said, yeah, let's do it. Thanks also to Jamie Passman, who's our music coordinator, brings us amazing music. And always to Jean Schaefer and Alex Dvorak, who keep all of this possible. I'm going to now invite our Not Ready for Primetime UCH Pledge players to come up and share some exciting fun.
I have my contestants, please. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of
Church Family Feud.
We're happy to be broadcasting this special episode to highlight the start of Unitarian Church of Hinsdale's 2022-23 pledge drive. Our viewing audience, that's you, should have already received their pledge packets in the mail, explaining the need for everyone to do their part to support our beloved UCH. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Time to play
Church Family Feud.
Let's meet our two families. On this side, we have the Unitarian family. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Pam.
Would you introduce us to who you have here with you today?
Sure. I'm joined by my fellow pledge team captains, Nancy and David.
All right, it's a good-looking team. And Megan, hi there.
Hi, Pam.
Would you introduce us to who you have in the Universalist family?
I'm also joined by fellow pledge team captains Ron and Jim.
All right, good-looking team. Good luck. Good luck. Without further ado, let's get to it and play.
Church Family Feud.
All right, let me have Megan. Let me have Mike. All right. This is your first question. I'll accept the top 5 answers. Why should the members and friends of UCH make a financial pledge? Oh, Mike beat you out, Megan. Let's see if he has an answer.
So that we can continue to have thought-provoking services.
Yes, good job. Sorry, Megan. All right, Unitarian family. Nancy.
So we can continue to provide vibrant, engaging religious education for our young people.
Yes, good job. David.
So we can continue to enjoy beautiful and inspiring music.
Very good. Couple more answers. Mike?
So UCH can continue to provide opportunities for spiritual exploration and personal growth.
Good job. All right, Nance, the last one.
To help maintain our historic church building and our beautiful grounds.
Good job. Good job. You got the top 5 answers. I'm sure there are many, many more, but you have named the top 5. All right, we're ready for our second question. Let me have Ron. Let me have Nancy. All right, ready? Let me ask the question. How can members and friends of UCH make their pledge?
They can fill out their paper pledge forms and mail it to the church office.
Woohoo! That's right, Ron. Sorry, Nancy. Ron beat you out. He was ready with that answer. All right, so we have the Universalist family here's ready to go. Jim, you got another one?
Yes. They can fill out the paper pledge form and scan it, or take a photo of it and email it to Pam Fodor.
Very good. All right. All right, you got another one, Megan?
This is the easiest one, Pam. They can fill out the online pledge form by clicking the link in news and notes or on the website.
Very good. That would be the easiest way, I think, for sure. All right. There's one more, Ron. You think you know it?
I think so.
All right.
Folks can bring their pledge sheet to church next Sunday, March 6th.
Woohoo! Yes, great job. You knew all the top answers. So, for the first time in
Church Family Feud.
history, we have a tie. Good job, teams. That's because when a church family works together and everyone does their part, we all win. Thanks for playing.
Church Family Feud.
Thanks for watching, and keep our winning streak alive by turning in your pledge today. Thank you. Good job, guys.
Thanks so much to our Family Feud players. That's fabulous. Well, you wouldn't know it, but there's a whole bunch of other things going on around church right now, too. First, a short announcement, an apology to anybody still waiting on a tax statement from the church due to the loss of our bookkeeper, and then a few other, it was one of those perfect storms of this went wrong, then this went wrong, then this went wrong. We're finally, right now, getting to the place that Jeffrey has been working steadily. We have a consultant helping him, and I think we're going to actually have the best reports that we've had in decades by the time he gets all these things all straightened out and put together. So if you really need something in the next week, please go ahead and just leave a message at the office, and we'll try to look it up, but we will get everybody's statements mailed out within the next few weeks. It's looking like we're getting that close. He thought it was going to happen this week, and then they ran into one more knot, and I was like, ah. So we're getting there, though. Let's see. Today we will begin the series called Race, the Power of an Illusion, which offers a very solid primer to the beginning of how the concept of race began in our country and how racism started working. And so that's going to be shown over in Joshi at noon. So anyone is welcome to join us. The first one is today, then the next 2 Sundays there will be the second 2 parts will be shown. Everybody is welcome to attend. This week, the Pen Pal group is going to meet Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And there's a link. No, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. The link is on the website. And the Green Sanctuary is meeting this Wednesday. Is that correct, Dave? Yep, okay. I thought so, but I just want to make sure. Sometimes I announce these things, and then somebody comes running up to me after it goes like, no, we moved it. So, and on top of that, we have a couple of new other things that are going on. There's a sermon writing class that anybody would like that is ever thinking about maybe wanting to offer a sermon or lead a service during the summer. You're encouraged to attend. That's going to be a 6-week class that's going to be every other Saturday. Sign up to do that. There's a spiritual book club, which will begin reading How I Became a Tree. And there's a reboot of the Spirit and Practice class that Lenny Edgen led last year, and they're going to start it again, which just looks at the different ways that to explore spirituality through the lens of Unitarian Universalism. So any of those things, go ahead and sign up with the church so we can get you going. If you're new to the church and you don't receive our publications, you can sign up at the desk at the back, or you can go to our website, www.hinsdaleunitarian.org, and there's a drop-down link for contact. Fill out that form, and we'll get you all signed up as well. I think, one last thing. Our orders of service have gone all online to try to save paper and keep our carbon footprint low. So we have a scan code in the back, and if you scan that, you can have our order service. It's always for this week. If you go on the website, you can find it there too. We begin our time together in deep gratitude for our spiritual home, listening for that spirit of wisdom that speaks to us, for the joy of connection, and for celebrating a faith home that invites us to step into our holy selves. And I just forgot the letter from Bob, so one more thing. This came from your board, addressing all the things that have changed in the last couple days with the state taking off the mask mandate and the CDC coming out with news. So the Board of Trustees have tried to base all of our decisions upon our church values and also continuing to pay attention to the scientific resources available. So we're going to be, with the hospital beds rates being lowered, we're going to stop recommending people wear masks as far as March 6th. We'll no longer require masks in service, and we'll resume coffee hour. So we can all cheer about that, I think. I'm very excited about that. And yes, yay! We will continue to watch the science, and if there's any spikes, we'll go back and change again. But for right now, we think that what's being said is that we can follow all that, and we can see each other's smiling faces again, and that will be fabulous. So let us begin with our opening hymn.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the body, gathered here in the justice of the body, gathered here as one strong body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the body, gathered here in the justice of the body, gathered here as one strong body, gathered here across struggle and alarm, Spirit draw near.
Thank you, singers. Pretty soon we'll be able to sing together. Isn't that exciting? I'm going to invite Pam up to do our story for all ages now.
Good morning. If there are any, there's no children here. But if, AJ. If you want to come closer to see, you can, but the pictures will be on the. This story is called Ordinary Mary's Extraordinary Deed. Ordinary Mary was so very ordinary that you'd never guess she could change the world. This ordinary kid, she did. She changed the world. One ordinary day, skipping on her way from her ordinary house, she passed an ordinary lot filled with ordinary bushes growing ordinary berries. Ordinary and juicy, luscious, lovely berries. Well, Ordinary Mary picked the ordinary berries and brought them in a brown bag to Mrs. Bishop's porch. This made Mrs. Bishop very, very happy. So she baked a big batch of blueberry muffins and thought of 5 people who might have brought those beautiful berries. Then she secretly gave each one of those people a plate. How great! 5 people got a plate. One of those 5 was Mr. Stevens, who smiled for 10 hours on the airplane, then said to 5 different people who had heavy, heavy bags, "Here, let me help you." He still smiled, and they did too. One of those 5 was Maria, whose cranky little boy stopped crying when Mr. Stevens played peekaboo with him until their ride came. Maria exclaimed, "How strange that a stranger would be so sweet." And the next day when she was out shopping, once, twice, 5 times, she did something nice for 5 different people without stopping. One of those 5 people was Joseph, old and bent in front of her at the produce stand. When he was short of cash, Maria put a coin in Joseph's hand and said, "Here, take this. The oranges are on us." As Joseph shuffled to the bus, his heart was full and his eyes were wet, and his hands did helpful things to the next 5 people he met. One of those 5 was Sarah, a college girl, stopped in Joseph's shop. When her bag broke and her things fell all over the floor, she said, "Oh, what will I do?" Joseph said, "Here, this is for you." And he gave her a new bag woven with his own hands in reds and purples and greens. "Oh, thank you," she said. "It's the loveliest bag I've ever seen." When Sarah left, she just had to shine on 5 people soon. One of those 5 was Sophia, whom she met on a boat, looking like someone without a friend. "What beautiful blue eyes you have," Sarah said. The beautiful blue eyes shed a happy tear, and when the boat trip was through, Sophia called 5 people to make them happy too. One of those 5 was Tom, her son, the doctor, who was having a very hard day. "Hi," she said. "I love you, Tom." "Well, how great to hear your voice," he sighed. Dr. Tom was so cheered up that on his break he bought a big bunch of bright balloons for 5 young patients. One of those 5 was Peter, who went home from the hospital that very day. Gratitude spilled out of him and on to the next 5 people who came his way. One of those 5 was Eric, a teenage boy who dropped his bag. Peter stopped his play and rushed over saying, "Super Wheels to the rescue!" Well, Eric, no longer stressed, made a mental note to help 5 people and do it soon. One of those 5 was Di, his 10-year-old sister, who was painfully shy. When Eric said, "Hey sis, want to learn how to ride my skateboard?" she looked wide-eyed and smiled. And because of her brother, Di decided maybe she could be a friend to 5 others. One of those 5 was Louise, a homeless woman who lived under the trees. Di and her brother bought her food from a hot dog stand. Louise was so pleased that she decided she would find 5 others and give them something. One of those 5 was Mr. Taylor, who lost his wallet in the park. Louise found it, full of bills. Ugh, what she could do with all that money. But she found his name instead and called him, and over he came. He was so impressed that he offered her a job in his store and vowed to do something generous for 5 people or more. One of those 5 was Kate, a woman on vacation who wanted to see a show. But oh no, it's sold out, and her face filled with sorrow. Mr. Taylor held out his ticket. "I live here and can go anytime. Take mine." Kate loved the show and was so touched that she bought 5 presents for people back home. And one of those 5 was a little heart necklace for Mary, Ordinary Mary, her niece. You should have seen her eyes light up in surprise. Yes, Ordinary Mary's extraordinary deed had come full circle, and on its way had changed the lives of every person living. Just see how it went. By the time her one deed went into the world, everyone had a share, and everybody knew that someone cared. There was even love left over. The world was changed, and it was all because one ordinary day, Ordinary Mary did a perfectly ordinary, stunningly earth-shaking, totally extraordinary deed. The end.
We're going to go right into the next portion. Did anybody remember to bring your shawls from home? Or if anybody at home, are you wearing your shawls? All our amazing knitters, we invite you to come on up, and we're going to do a re-blessing of the shawls, the care shawls.
So one tiny, extraordinary way that we show love and support to our members is by knitting these care shawls. Many, many members and friends of our church family have received care shawls that were lovingly crafted by members of our Care Shawl Ministry Group. To date, we've given away over 300 shawls for all kinds of life changes, both concerns and celebrations. Each shawl we give is sent with blessings and wishes of love and peace. We've invited those who have received them to wear them today, either in our sanctuary or at home, so that we can re-bless them. So we are going to light just a few candles, maybe just the first 4 of you could light candles from our group chalice. We light these candles from our community's chalice to signify the connectedness that we hope these shawls convey to their recipients. Maybe that one's not going to work. If you're sitting near someone or standing near someone with a care shawl, please reach out and put a hand on the shawl and offer a wish for caring or kindness. Send love and peace as Karen shares this blessing. If you can't touch a shawl, raise up your arms and send out a silent blessing to those shawl recipients.
Spirit of community in which we Spirit of community in which we share and find strength and common purpose. We turn our minds and hearts toward one another, seeking to bring into our circle of concern all who need our love and support, those who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or spirit, those who are lonely or have been wronged. We are part of the web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness that we share, the consciousness that gives us the power to remember, to love, to care.
We extinguish these candles now, blowing our loving wishes to you, and end our blessing with this quote by Herman Melville.
We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men, and among those fibers, as sympathetic threads, our actions run as causes, and they come back to us as effects.
We get to sing the one song that we haven't sung in a long time for AJ. If you don't mind, AJ, we're going to sing Go in Love. Our hearts go with you, go in joy, our hopes go too. Learn in love and grow in wisdom, shine your light in all you do. We're now moving into our gratitude moment, which will come. There we go. The gratitude moment is when we honor somebody, an unsung hero in our congregation that someone has nominated. And today, Peter Crower has been nominated. So Peter, you're watching at home, hello. Peter's been nominated for the way he shows up and supports the church in so many ways. He leads the men's group monthly, has deep conversations about the challenges that we all face in life. He shows up with great questions in the racial equity team, offers his paintings in the church living room, sits on the endowment and finance committees, and we can't forget his most amazing thing is the magic performances that he shares with us all the way through the year. So we're going to say thank you to Peter. If you see him, tell him thanks. And make sure you nominate somebody that you think should be thanked on a Sunday morning. We have a reading now that Karen is going to do, which is Small Kindnesses. I thought it went before the offering.
Small Kindnesses by Denusha Lamares. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by, or how strangers still say, "Bless you," when someone sneezes. And sometimes, when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them, and for them to smile back. For the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the basket of cornbread, and for the driver of the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from the tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, "I like your scarf. Oh, go ahead, you first. Here, have my seat."
Thank you, Karen. Out of the good feelings that we have thinking about those blessings that we offer to each other, we're going to bring our gifts to the church community this morning. Each of us here works to make the world just a little bit better place. At home, you can go to our website, www.hinsdaleunitarian.org, and click the donut button. Here, we will say our offering words together as our offering is gratefully received. Maybe we will. This church is made up of all of us. It's what we learn together, the work we do together, and the fun we have together. It's what we share with one another, with the people around us, and with all the world. Our offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you so much for your generosity to one another and to this church. The gremlins, you know, even when the guys help me, the gremlins still get me every single time. And today they are getting me more than usual. There we go. I don't know what the heck's going on, but it's happening. I don't want to save anything. I just want it to go. There we go. That's the beginning. Now we can catch up to where we are now. I'm going to breathe and ask you all to breathe with me. Because we'll remember where we're supposed to be and who we're supposed to do, and what is really important in life is that we're all here together, right? Thank you so much for your generosity. Thanks for Karen's reading. And now, a time of prayer. I invite you to rest in your bodies, to settle into your chairs, to take a deep breath in, a relaxing breath out, letting all the anxiety of this moment, this morning, flow through you. Our prayer is from Earl Holt III. Here in the sanctuary, which has been home for so many secret thoughts and hopes, fears and desires, may we feel free to look at ourselves with true honesty. May we be unafraid to face the decisions that we've been trying to avoid, the doubts and the questions it has been easier to ignore, the things we have tried to keep hidden, not only from ourselves, but from others. May we come to discover that there are resources within ourselves and beyond us that are as hidden, but as real as our secret doubts and fears. New dimensions of the Spirit within and without will be revealed to us as we confront ourselves honestly and come to understand that we are not isolated from the community of life and spirit, but that our soul suffering connects us with the hidden suffering of others. May we come to see that in our deepest loneliness, we are not alone. May we be emboldened by this vision to reach out to others in need, and so finally to discover that it is to give that to give is not only more blessed than to receive, but that to give to others is to receive what we need most. Amen. This morning we remember Gemma Gunther's grandmother Alice, who was in the final stages of hospice when she wrote to me. May their love and memory sustain them as life goes forward. We also send good things to Jane, who broke her foot and is recovering. Must be very hard to use crutches in the snow, but I think I saw her without crutches, so that was not, not needed. We also hold all of the people in Ukraine and Russia, people who are used as pawns and treated with so little respect for their humanity. May people of good heart and faith stand firm against Putin and restore peace and prosperity to that entire region. If something has risen in your heart this morning and you would like to come up and light a candle, you're welcome to do so at this time.
I see Joe's right here. 4 weeks ago, I got a new knee, and I've already forgotten the pain and discomfort I had, but I'll never forget the care that Joe gave me, literally every step of the way.
Joe, I lit 2 candles. One is in memory for our nephew David, who called on the day of Pat's surgery to find out how she was doing, and 2 days later we lost him. And the second candle is for Pat. It's a candle of hope that her healing continues, and she'll be able to leap tall buildings at a single bound soon.
Very good. Thank you. Do you want me to light the candle, or do you want to go ahead and hit it?
I'm lighting a candle for my friend Ari, who has been struggling with her health lately.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan. I have just been devastated by those photographs in the New York Times. Bombed out apartment buildings and bodies lying in the snow. I just want to ask a question. We had one special collection for Ukraine, right? No? I'd just like to suggest that we do something, maybe include an extra amount in our fundraiser or in our pledge drive for next year. Of course, it's not up to me. I'm not on any committee, but I just wanted to express my hope. Thanks.
My name is Lauren. I lit a couple of candles. I did one for Darren Howard, a second one for his mom, and also for my dog Pepper that I lost recently and my heart still hurts for.
It'll take a while, but we'll get there. There you go.
My name is Sandy. I'm also lighting a candle for Taryn and for what I'm going through this week. Thank you.
We light our 3 final candles. One for any intentions too tender to be spoken aloud this morning. One for our leaders across the country, that they remember who they serve and where they live. And finally, for this congregation that walks with people through their sorrow and through their joy and helps enrich all of our lives.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
I don't know how you follow that. I'll try to lighten it up a little bit. I begin with two brief readings. The first, the universe provided to me via an ad for a subscription to Amish Mysteries. It's an Amish proverb. The only time to look down on your neighbor is when you're bending over to help. Nancy, hold on just a bit. And more seriously, the proverbial words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Life's most persistent and nagging question is, what are you doing for others? I was riding on the subway once when the woman seated in front of me got up, and as she exited, I spied a glove where she had been sitting. I grabbed it and ran to the door and shouted, "Miss, your glove!" and tossed it to her on the platform just as the doors slammed shut. Pleased with my good deed, I sat back down, and that's when I felt a tap on my shoulder from the woman sitting next to me. You guessed it. That, she said, was my glove. Now, as I was preparing for today, that anecdote was provided by the universe through Reader's Digest. So now that I have your attention, I must begin by admitting that talking about my own good deeds is rather embarrassing because it feels like boasting. We all do good deeds, and I fear the personal examples I will share are nothing special, though that's the idea. But first, a little lead-in. Around the time of my retirement from teaching 18 years ago, I began, thinking about ways to fill some of my time by being of service. Some of these I sought, even went to the Service Opportunities Day at the library and found something. But most, the universe just provided by chance, which Reverend Rumancik, I think, will dwell on in her message. Without giving you a long list of examples of some of the things I've done, I'll just say that I've come to realize that it isn't only the grand gestures and the actions we seek, but all those little daily things, those chance opportunities to help others that make a rich life. Can't help thinking of George Bailey. Certainly, bringing the thoughts and best wishes of this congregation to our members by knitting and presenting shawls has been deeply satisfying. It was just lucky for me that Nancy and Pam F. got it started, and Nancy says that it was just a chance encounter that led her to the Care Shawl concept. So I'll skip to the good part, the thing that Reverend Rumancik heard about that prompted her to invite me here to bore you with my examples of kindness or two that I've offered. That thing is another kind of knitting. Around the same time as the Care Shawls came into my life over 13 years ago, I just luckily happened to notice a small ad in a knitting magazine the universe provided. It was about an organization that knitted or crocheted bears for orphans in Africa. People send their bears to the Mother Bear Project in Minneapolis. Amy, the woman who started it, didn't know how to knit, but heard of the need and wanted to do something to comfort the children. She asked her own kids what a child might want, and they said, duh, a stuffed animal. She learned how to knit, got others involved, figured out the logistics, uses a storage facility and the Peace Corps distribution, and to date has given over 183,650 bears. It just blows my mind, and I'm blessed to be a part of it. I've made almost 400. Of course, well, that's 13 years, come on. Of course, in addition to giving comfort to a child that I will never meet, it is so rewarding to me as well. I even once received a photo and a hand-drawn thank you card from one of the children who received a bear from me. And Amy occasionally emails me photos of a child with my bear. And it's all thanks to just happening to see that little ad in a magazine Nancy was throwing out. I'll give you another quick example. If someone in the checkout line has only a few items and they step in behind my loaded cart, I always let them go ahead of me. I got lots of time. Lastly, I've come to realize that I have a habit of anticipating the end of people's sentences and commenting before they are done. Sometimes I've got it wrong. Because I can see that that is annoying and not kind, I am working on being a better listener and not interrupting. 4 times in my life, some stranger helped me with a flat tire. I have a 10-year-old neighbor boy who doesn't need parental prompting to offer me a hand if he sees me taking out the recycling. The day after I finished this draft, the draft of this talk, I was at the grocery store. A young woman informed me that my phone light was on. I guess I had somehow inadvertently activated it when checking my shopping list, but the settings had changed, and I'm such a Luddite anyway, and I didn't know how to turn it off. Duh. She kindly showed me where the icon was. She had to do it twice. We were in the freezer aisle, and I said, anyone see corn? Another taller woman spotted it up high and way back and reached up and got it for me. Small gesture, but you know, it made my day. Both women were so friendly, discernible even behind masks. Of course, I suppose it helps that I'm now an old woman in obvious need of such help. Oh, with that note, I must add that we need to be kind to ourselves too. You may have noticed my self-deprecation. I hope you did, because I intentionally threw in 5 examples. It wasn't easy. But I know such negative talk can be harmful if done with deep self-criticism, or done too frequently, or not done for humor. And if done in the presence of a child, can set a bad example. Just a reminder to treat yourself as you would want others to treat you. You wouldn't say insulting critical put-downs to a friend, would you? Occasionally say nice things to yourself. It's okay, but do it privately. We often hear of inspiring acts of kindness. In the end, it is not a contest. Today's examples are but a reminder that all of us can extend simple, good deeds to others. We frequently have that opportunity here when we contribute to our monthly causes, most recently supporting the immigrant family in Aurora, or working for PADS, or writing a letter to an incarcerated person, or donating to food banks and toy drives and coat drives and blood drives. Just smiling is a simple thing to do. Smiling, holding a door, paying a compliment, writing a thank you note or a get well or a sympathy note, being courteous, being a courteous driver, offering to help out, or just listening are all but a few examples of daily gestures of kindness and one of the major aesthetics I appreciate about this church. I now invite you to take a moment of silence to think of times that you were on the receiving or giving end of some such small act of kindness. I encourage you to have a conversation about these thoughts Ask someone, then listen. Without consciously seeking them, opportunities appear daily, and who knows what their lasting effect may be. We can develop such a mindset. Even Scrooge found it wasn't too late. To end, I offer you this mantra. The smallest good deed is better than the grandest intention.
Thank you so much. That was fabulous. I am sitting here sharing my process with you in that I have a 5-minute piece of music and then a 10-minute reflection, and it is already 11:26. So I'm going to tell you, we're just skipping most of that because I love you. And I'll find another place to stick in that music and that reflection at a different day. So this is, there we go. Next time. And I'll just say that I love so much Karen's idea. I loved what she was bringing today. And what the direction I wanted to take it was to talk about how these things pop up with synchronicity, how things appear out of nowhere sometimes that give us the opportunity. And my long story was all going to be about how I ended up from listening to a piece of music, ended up in seminary and serving this church. And there's a way there that it happened, and it's kind of crazy. But there's many ways in our lives that if we just open up and pay attention, we'll see, maybe some days we will throw the wrong glove outside of the train, obviously that's going to happen. But most of the time, if we just open up to what's in front of us, in the world around us, we actually are going to find so many opportunities, like many of the ones that Karen shared, that can help us do that tiny little task, picking the blueberries and offering to somebody who's going to go make blueberry muffins, or all of those tiny things. But the hard part about it is that very first step, that paying attention, that opening up so that your heart is ready to receive those magic moments, those synchronous moments where you can actually give to the world without any expectation of getting back, without any expectation that anything is going to happen, and still trusting in the bottom of your heart that offering love into the world is always going to offer love that expands. One of my favorite cartoons when my kids were small was a mom with a bunch of children, and somebody said, how can you divide your love between all of those kids? And the mom said, love doesn't divide, love multiplies. And I think that's so true with all the small deeds we can do. No matter how tiny the love, it's going to multiply and go out into the world. And in that going out into the world, it's going to fill our own hearts too. I'll end with one story at the end, which was a story about Hilda Beck, who was a school teacher in Sweden who didn't have a lot of time or money, but she decided to sponsor one student in Kenya. And in Kenya, kids, if they can't go to school, are often just stuck in a life of poverty the rest of their life. So she sponsored one child. She didn't even get those pictures in the mail that tell you who your child is or write to them. But what happened was she ended up sponsoring Chris Marubu, and she faithfully sent her $15 every single month. And the article said, this was in Forbes magazine, said that Chris wound up graduating from high school, going to the University of Nairobi, and then attending Harvard Law School. He became a UN human rights advocate, and he started his own charity. Then he petitioned the Swedish embassy to find the name of his anonymous sponsor. He named his nonprofit the Hilda Beck Educational Fund for a benefactor he never met. And so far, they have paid the full tuition for over 350 children. And that all started because Hilda said, I'm going to send $15 a month and never know what's going to happen from that. So the whole point of today is to open your hearts, to look for those places and to know that it's going to feed you more than you can ever imagine. Amen, and blessed be. going to invite our folks at home to extinguish your chalices as Karen reads our Chalice Extinguishing words, and you can read along.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, you don't have that?
Oh, I'm good, I'm good.
Oh, we extinguish
This flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of its unity, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.
Closing words.
I will close today's messages by sharing a piece that the universe provided on Facebook and was attributed to Native American wisdom, though the credit has been disputed, so maybe it's from Sanskrit. However, I chose it because I like our principle of the web of life. It is earth-centered. Nothing in nature lives for itself. The sun does not shine for itself. Trees don't eat their own fruit. Rivers don't drink their own water. Flowers don't spread fragrance for themselves. Living for others is the rule of nature.
Amen. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Jamie. We'll hear the final song.